Hello students, a very good morning to you. How are you? I hope you all well and you are doing your homework very sincerely. Thanks for that. Students, we will today start a new chapter of class 12, that is chapter 6, molecular basis of inheritance. In chapter 5 we have studied about principles of inheritance and variation, and in that chapter we know that how the parental characters means genetical characters transfer to their offspring. In this chapter we will see how on molecular basis means which is the molecule which carries the genetic information from one generation to another generation. Means overall if I say, then we will study about DNA, RNA and protein. How is DNA formed, where it is found, what is RNA, what is protein, what is transcription, translation, genetic code and protein synthesis, etc. etc. So students, let's start the topic of today, the nucleic acid. As we know, in the whole world there are two types of nucleic acid is present. You know about nucleic acid, already studied in class 11. Nucleic acid, there are two types of nucleic acid. One is DNA and another is RNA. DNA means deoxyribonucleic acid, deoxyribonucleic acid, and RNA means ribonucleic acid. So these two nucleic acids are the main genetic material in all living organisms, whether it is plant, animal, microorganism including bacteria and virus. DNA mostly acts as genetic material in higher organisms and bacteria. In some viruses also DNA is present and acts as genetic material, but most of the virus contain the RNA. DNA is double-stranded, whereas RNA is single-stranded. As I have told you, DNA is found, or DNA acts as the genetic material in most of the organisms, exception only in few viruses. Means in viruses the DNA acts as genetic material. Means DNA, the virus that either contain DNA as genetic material or contain RNA as genetic material. Some viruses who contain only RNA as their genetic material and rapidly change their character. Means RNA shows faster mutation, which we will study later. So students, now let's see the topic, which is the main topic of today, is the DNA. The DNA. Let's know something more about DNA. As I have told you, DNA is a nucleic acid and it is a long chain of polymers, means it is made up of many proteins. So we will study transcription, means when DNA get converted into RNA, and translation when RNA get converted into protein. So let's see how many pairs of DNA are present in different type of cells, means in human cell, in haploid cell or in diploid cell, in E. coli, in bacteriophage, etc. etc. So if I told you that the number of DNA present in different organisms, means each and every organism contain DNA as pairs, means DNA is present as pairs. So if we saw, then the DNA looks like this. This is the DNA and it has two polarity. One polarity is from 3' hydroxyl to 5' phosphate and 3' hydroxyl to, means the polarity is always opposite. 3 is opposite to 5 and 5 is opposite to 3. So the DNA, if you see the DNA, that is coiled in a right-handed fashion like this. This is coiled in a right-handed fashion. And each coiling means each turn of DNA contains 10 base pair. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Means each turn of DNA contains 10 base pair. So in different organisms, the base pair is of different in number. Clear? And each turn has the length 3.4 nanometer nm. Means its length, if it is measured, then it will be 3.4 nanometer. And the gap between the two base pair is 0.34 nanometer. Means as 10 base pair in a single turn and its length is 3.4. So the base pair, the distance between the base pair is 0.34 nanometer. Again, the base pairs are consist of purines and pyrimidines. Purines and pyrimidines. Then what are purines and pyrimidines? As I have told you that base pairs are not present single, they are present in like this, means one purine and one pyrimidine. Then what is purine and what is pyrimidine? Purine is consists of adenine and guanine, whereas pyrimidine is consist of cytosine and thymine. This is in case of DNA. So when they make base pair, one purine makes or forms the complementary with a pyrimidine. Means adenine binds with thymine and guanine binds with cytosine when they make the base pairs. Simple, you can remember purines are adenine and guanine. Pyrimidines are cytosine and thymine. But when they exist in a DNA strand, double-stranded DNA, one purine makes complementary with another pyrimidine. So here the angle between means the complementary will be formed between adenine thymine, which is bound by a double bond, and cytosine and thymine, which is bound by triple bond. So ATCG, or we can say as GC. So they are the base pairs arranged in the DNA. As I have told you, different organisms contain different number of base pairs in their cell or genome. That's why we can say that lambda, E. coli and human beings, lambda has 48,502 base pairs. Lambda has 48,502 base pairs. Clear, students? That is, you have to remember, this may come in 1 mark question, that how many pair of base pairs are present in lambda. That is 48,502 base pairs. Again, E. coli, Escherichia coli, you know about Escherichia coli. How many? That is 4.6 into 10 to the power 6. 4.6 into 10 to the power 6 base pairs. Next, in human beings, means in your genome, in human beings, the number of base pair is 3.3 into 10 to the power 9 base pairs. So, you think DNA is found inside nucleus and nucleus is found inside cell. If a single DNA contains the number of base pair means 3.3 into 10 to the power 9 base pairs, then can you imagine how much length of the DNA will be? Means if we stretch a single, if we stretch the DNA of a single cell from a single cell, then it will wrap around the earth. Means its length is so large that it can be wrapped around the earth. So these are the number of base pairs found in different organisms, and these base pairs are arranged like this. And remember, students, the DNA is consist of nitrogenous base, then your phosphate group. Then what is the DNA has three major components. One is nitrogenous base, another is your pentose sugar, and phosphate group. Nitrogenous base is consist of your purines and pyrimidines, then pentose sugar which adds the amino acids with each other, and then your phosphate group which makes the antipolarity or they are antiparallel to each other. You can see the strand. This is the double helical structure of DNA. And remember, students, This is given by the scientists Watson and Crick. The double helical structure, Watson and Crick gave the double helical structure of DNA. It is look like a ladder. Means you know about ladder or CD. This is exactly like this, but the exception is it contains 10 base pairs, and these 10 base pairs are always exist in complementary to each other. Means the complementary is formed by one purine and one pyrimidine, which I have told you. Clear, students? So here the bonding between the two consecutive nitrogenous base is through pentose sugar, or we can say as phosphodiester linkage. If we draw the diagram, then you can understand. Now let's see how a DNA looks like. I think you have cleared your topic. What is nucleic acid? Nucleic acid is of two types. One is DNA and RNA. DNA means deoxyribonucleic acid. RNA means ribonucleic acid. DNA and RNA both acts as genetic material in many organisms. Means in all organisms. Majority of the organisms contain DNA as their genetic genetic carrier, whereas some organisms contain RNA as their genetic material, like in some viruses. Then DNA exists in double stranded and RNA exists in single stranded. Then this is the structure of DNA. It is coiled in a right-handed fashion, and each turn has the length 3.4 nanometer, and the base pair, the distance between the two consecutive base pairs is 0.34 nanometer, and the double helical structure is given by Watson and Crick. Again, the DNA is consist of three major substances or components, that is your nitrogenous base, pentose sugar, and phosphate group. Again, different organisms contain different pairs of different base pairs, number of base pairs, like your lambda, E. coli, human beings, and also Phi 174 contains the number of base pairs, that is your 50, you can say as 5386. This is Phi. This is called as Phi, and this is Phi 174. This is Phi 174. This is the name of the bacteria, and it contains 5386 base pairs, and the base pairs are as purines and pyrimidines. Purine is consist of adenine and guanine, whereas pyrimidine is consist of cytosine and thiamine. Adenine binds with thiamine with double bond, and guanine bonds with cytosine with triple bond. Now let's see how a polynucleotide chain looks. Now let's see how a polynucleotide chain looks. As I have told you, it is linked by a phosphodiester linkage, means 5 prime to 3 prime. So we can say here is P, then this is C, H, H. You have studied in class 11 its structure, how it is made. So here it is linked by pentose sugar. You can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and this is the phosphate group which attached to the CH2 group. Phosphate group is attached to CH group. Again here the P will come, phosphate will come, the same C, then H, then H. Again it is joined with the, if we write here adenine, then next one we will write as, here is the adenine, then here is the thiamine, adenine, thiamine, as I have told you. Then your guanine and cytosine will come. You can see. Then the guanine and cytosine will come. Same. After this you can write P. Then it is attached to CH2 group like this. CH2 group, and again it is joined with a pentose sugar, and this is considered as G. Again it is joined with P. Then P is joined with CH2 group, and again here is the pentose sugar, and here is C. So if you see, this is the polynucleotide chain, and its polarity is 5 prime to 3 prime. Means here we can use 5 prime phosphate, and here is 3 prime hydroxyl. As I have told you, they are always anti-parallel to each other. So the polynucleotide chain is look like this. Means the DNA is look like this. Clear, students? Depending on the type of sugar, they are arranged as 5 prime to 3 prime and 3 prime to 5 prime. Clear, students? So in case of, we can say that the 5 prime end is the end. The 5 prime end is the end, and it starts from 3 prime hydroxyl. It means the end, one end contains 3 OH group. You can see one end contains 3 OH group, whereas another end contains 3 phosphate group. Clear, students? Again, in RNA there is an exception. It contains an extra OH group. In case of RNA, it contains an extra OH group, due to which in case of RNA the thiamine is replaced by uracil. I am teaching you about DNA. In DNA the base pairs are adenine, guanine, cytosine and thiamine. But in case of RNA, thiamine is replaced by uracil. Means in RNA the base pairs are adenine, guanine, cytosine and uracil. Here thiamine will not found in case of RNA. So adenine binds with uracil, whereas guanine binds with cytosine. But in case of DNA, the case is different. Clear, students? So here is the concept which I gave you. This is the concept of DNA. Now we will study the salient features of double helical structure of DNA. I think you understand. If the diagram asked or suppose the question will ask, draw the structure of a polynucleotide chain, then you can draw like this and can mention how the base pairs are arranged. Clear? Now let's see the salient features of DNA. Means what are the salient features or characteristic features of DNA? First we can say that the two type of polynucleotide chains acts as the backbone of the base pairs or the DNA. Two type of polynucleotide chain which I have drawn now. This is a single part and another part will join to this, like here I made adenine. Then when the same structure will come, you can write here adenine with thiamine. So let's see. Two type of polynucleotide forms the backbone. Backbone means this is DNA and this is the backbone. Means this provides a structure to the DNA. So this is the backbone. That's why I write two type of polynucleotide forms the backbone of DNA. Clear, students? And they are projected by to each other. Means they are projected towards the sugar base pairs. Projected towards. And second character, what is the salient feature? Or we can say that each DNA contains 10, each turn of DNA contains 10 base pair. You can write the second salient feature. Each turn of DNA contains 10 base pair, which already I have explained you, and the distance 3.4, and the distance between the base pair is 0.34. You have to write, already I have explained. Next you can write the third point, that the base pairs are always complementary to each other. Means the base pair are formed from one pyrimidine binds with or makes complementary with pyrimidine. So you can write the purines and pyrimidines. Already I have explained. Adenine, guanine are purine, whereas cytosine and thiamine are pyrimidine. Again, the base pair already I have told you that what is the base pair. Means I have already explained the salient features of DNA. So here you can write the points of yourself that how it looks. Clear, students? Now let's understand what is central dogma. First, I have drawn the structure of DNA and already explained the salient features. Means what is its backbone consist of, how many base pairs it contains, what is these base pairs are made up of, and how they act as genetic material, what is the length of each strand, what is the length of base pairs, who discovered or who make the double helical structure of DNA. These are the salient features. There is nothing to be worried. You can write the points by yourself. This is your task. Clear, students? Now let's understand what is central dogma. Now we will study what is central dogma. Central dogma, you can say DNA get converted into RNA and RNA get converted into protein. So the conversion of DNA to RNA is called as transcription. Transcription. And conversion of RNA into protein is called as translation. This is called as central dogma. Clear, students? DNA get converted into RNA and RNA get converted into protein, and this is called as central dogma, and this is proposed by Francis Crick. Remember, student, you should not write about James Watson, only Francis Crick. Francis Crick gave central dogma. This may come as 1 mark question. Here you should not write James Watson, only Francis Crick gave about central dogma, means conversion of DNA into RNA and RNA into protein is called as central dogma. Clear? So today this is all about your topic. In our next class we will study about packaging of DNA.